When did you realize your family was way more unusual than you thought? 1. I didn't realize how unusual my family was until my sophomore year of college when I invited my roommate home for Thanksgiving break. Growing up, I thought every family had a completely silent dinner ritual where you could only communicate through elaborate hand gestures and facial expressions. No talking whatsoever, you had to use this weird sign language my grandparents had created that mixed actual ASL with complete nonsense they made up. We called it the quiet game, and if you spoke during dinner, you had to do everyone else's dishes. My roommate's jaw dropped the first night when we all sat down to eat and suddenly everyone went completely mute and started wildly gesticulating. I'd never considered it weird, it was just our normal Tuesday night. But seeing it through her eyes, watching my very serious father aggressively wiggling his eyebrows to ask for the salt while my mother frantically waved her hands in some bizarre semaphore to tell him about her day, I suddenly realized this wasn't normal. The best part? My family had absolutely no connection to deaf culture. My grandparents weren't hard of hearing. When I finally asked my mom why we did this, she said, "Oh, Grandpa read some psychology article in 1962 about how families don't truly listen to each other at dinner, so he decided silence would make us more observant." 60 years, 3 generations. An entire made-up sign language. All because my grandfather read one article. 2. I didn't realize my family was unusual until my first sleepover at a friend's house when I was 12. My entire life, I thought it was completely normal that my family had what we called the annual performance review. Every December, my parents would set up a conference room-style setting in our living room with a PowerPoint presentation and give each of us kids a formal evaluation of our year. I'm talking graphs tracking our grade improvements, pie charts of our chore completion rates, and actual SWOT analyses of our extracurricular activities. We each got a formal printed report with areas of excellence and opportunities for growth. The whole thing ended with us setting personal development goals for the next year and signing an actual contract with my parents. So when I was at my friend's house and mentioned I was nervous about my upcoming performance review, her face went completely blank. "You're what?" she asked. I explained the whole process like it was the most normal thing in the world, and she just stared at me in horror. "Your parents make us decisions about you?" she asked, completely bewildered. That's when it hit me that maybe, just maybe, other families didn't approach parenting like a corporate HR department. Turns out my parents had both worked in management consulting before having kids and just never stopped thinking in those terms. They genuinely thought this was helping us prepare for the real world. The cherry on top? When I graduated college, they gave me a career transition package complete with a retrospective analysis of my 18 years as their child, including a leather-bound compilation of all my annual reviews. 3. I always thought my family was perfectly normal until I brought my college boyfriend home for spring break during my sophomore year. Growing up, my parents had this unique approach to resolving family conflicts. Whenever there was a disagreement that couldn't be solved through normal discussion, we had what they called the Court of Domestic Affairs. My dad, a high school drama teacher, would put on an actual judge's robe he bought at a costume shop. My mom, an accountant with zero legal background, would act as the bailiff, and whoever had the dispute would present their case. We had to prepare actual evidence, call witnesses, other family members, and make closing arguments. My dad would dramatically bang a serving spoon against the kitchen counter as a gavel and deliver these elaborate, completely made-up legal opinions citing precedent from previous family disputes. So when my boyfriend was visiting and witnessed my sister and me getting into an argument about borrowed clothes, he was understandably confused when my dad announced, "Court will convene after dinner."